Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, Adult Swim, like, as a brand, like, it is the weirdo of the group. Like, it is
Oh
meant
yeah.
for those on like the fringes of society, you know. So, you know, the people who are gonna stay up till 4 a.m., you know, just because, right? Um, but I mean, I don't know. The thing about Adult Swim, just like giving a voice to those people, though, is that I feel like because they give a voice to it, it makes the brand more inclusive, right?
Yeah.
People, you know, they well, one of the things that, you know, growing up, I always thought, particularly with those little experimental shorts, and then is that no, I mean, I feel like, you know, that's if anyone's gonna give you a shot, it's gonna be Adult Swim.
Yeah, and it's still, even that being said, it's just like any other network. It's hard as hell to get something past the goalie here,
Right.
more so now than it ever has been. Back in the day, it was just a couple idiots running around doing whatever they wanted to. We need a show. Let's make a show. We're all in the office. Let's do a show. But then they started to look outside of the office to get other voices in, and it became a little more corporate. It's terrible, but things always have to become that way because they start making money, and people are like, "Ooh, that's making money. Let me put my finger in that for a bit." Um, but yeah, Adult Swim, it's still it still wants to be. I'll say this about Adult Swim now. It's like the whole streams thing. Um, its main goal is to try to be inclusive and build a community, and I think we have the live chat with the stuff that we do, which Twitch does, everybody does it, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, our chat community isn't huge, but it's a really tight knit community at this point, and all the streams goal is to be as inclusive with the audience as they can be. Like they drill it into us to be to talk to engage the viewer as much as possible, even individuals. So I think that's great to try to build a community around that and build people. I know, and they want it to grow and they want more people to see it, but it's it's a double-edged sword because you don't want too many people because then it loses its sort of specialist to the smaller group of people. But you want a lot of people to see it because they need the revenue to be able to keep doing it. So it's like it I don't know, it's like juggling, I
Right,
don't know
right.
what it's a tough little thing they built, and lofty goals that they want for it as to what it needs to be. So who knows, we'll see, but it's still fun. It's a fun little weird thing too, and no one's doing that either. Just a weird, as strange as the stream shows are and as bizarre as each one of them is, it it is an original thing that I know Twitch does stuff, but it's not. I don't. I don't feel like it's the same. I feel like that's just, since it is so popular. Like you'll get a gamer playing a video game, and they'll have 10,000 people watching,
Right.
and the chat just becomes a cacophony of noise that you can't even read. It's going up so fast, and that I think is a little detrimental to it. I don't think it helps take away any sort of personalness to it, which ours still has that. I'm sure at some point it'll get too big for its britches and won't be fun, and it'll turn everybody off and everybody will hate it for a while. But that's how things grow. But
Everything.
yeah, that's what I think is good about the streams right now is their aim to be as inclusive and welcoming to the audience as they can be.
Well, that I think that's another thing Adult Swim does it well is gain engagement from their audience, right? I mean, you know, whether it's you know, they're teaming up with different musical artists for music videos, or I mean, even all the festivals and live events that you guys do. I mean, you know, it really is a way to get fans engaged. You know, I mean, not just like buy merch and this and that, but actually meet creative folks. You know, and actually kind of deepen their involvement in the brand.
Yeah, it's fun. The live stuff is great. Like I think I went to it a little bit before I got involved with the streams, but now in the streams we're always there. So to
Yeah.
go to a lot of the stuff, and especially like Comic Con was amazing because just to be there and see what Adult Swim builds. They like build a carnival, a free carnival. That's the best thing about the experience for Adult Swim is It's this huge event outside of of the convention center. You don't need, you sign up online, and you do have to wait in line like everything else. But if you make it
Mhm.
in, it's totally free. There's games to play. You can win tons of stuff, tons of cool stuff. Of course, there's the merch tent where you can go and spend money if you want, but you don't have to be a part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a stage with live stuff going on all day. And I mean, it's a free festival, and it's a fun engagement of the fans, and they love it. They have a great time, and it's fun to meet people and put a face to the chat names, and it's just a great event. And I don't know of any other network that does something like that to celebrate their fans, to celebrate
Yeah.
the people that like their stuff. It's amazing. It's pretty great. I really love that aspect of Adult Swim for sure.
I was gonna say, I mean, just the incorporation of cons in general. I mean, I don't understand why every company isn't doing it, because over the last 15 years, comic cons have exploded. I mean, I write comic books, so I'm always behind the table, meeting folks, getting the same old questions. Do they have you work tables there and do meet and greets, or do you do
I,
more of the on stage questions?
I do. We the streams is not. I mean, it's popular, but it's not like it. We couldn't pull our own. We put a table up with one of us behind it. You wouldn't have a very long line of people wanting to talk to us, which is fine. But I do help out with like um, harming when they're doing stuff. I'll be around and helping with it, and it's awesome to see. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've done. I feel like I have been at a convention where I've been at a table and it went relatively well. But I think it was more. I think it was for a. Oh yeah. So we had a here in Atlanta. We did something at Dragon Con, Your Pretty Face panel, and I got to be on that, and that's tons of fun because all those idiots are just, they're and stupid and fun to hang out with. Like, you just put us on a stage, and it's if you can get Dana Snyder to stop talking, then it's going to be a great time for everybody. But that was fun, and we did have a meet and greet after that, and it was fun talk. People are so gracious, and so it's so much fun to meet the people, because you kind of forget that there's people watching. Um, it's not like we have a big premiere or anything of the shows.
All right.
So it's easy to just make it, and it gets shipped off into the world, and you kind of forget about it. It's like, okay, that's out there. Um, and you don't think about the fact that there's thousands of people watching it, and some of them like it. So that's a that's a cool thing to kind of be able to see that first and foremost. Like, hey, how are you doing? I love what you do. It's just like, oh, thanks. I had no idea people like this. But yeah, it's great fun, and it's cool. And they do those live things too that just tour the touring festivals that go around. Those are a lot of fun. Those are strange and bizarre, and I think those are free too. I'm not, but yeah, it's nuts. Like, sci-fi could do that. Sci-fi could easily throw.
Easily.
The CW could do that. They have a lot of great shows on that network. It's like that the fans crave stuff. They crave it. The fans of those shows want it, and then they would, even if they charged for it, they could get people coming out for it. It'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know why they don't do more stuff like that. Honestly, seems like a
You
no.
know, that's a big question that I was asking, because I mean, a couple weeks ago, I had Russ Adams on the show, and he is a special effects makeup artist, and
Mm-hmm.
he had worked on one of Sci-Fi's shows. I want to say it was Jim Henson's Creature Shop, and he actually gets like all these different makeup artists who've appeared on like their various shows, Face Off and that, to go and do cons, because Sci-Fi won't back them. Like, Sci-Fi
Oh
doesn't.
wow.
Yeah, they won't send anybody to their cons, and you think, I mean, that is sci-fi conventions, besides comic books, are the OG style of conventions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you have like your Star Trek conventions, right? That were kind of offshoots of that first, but I mean, sci-fi, it's one of those genres that has conventions right at the inception of it. Even if you're going back to like the old pulp magazine conventions back in the day, right?
Yeah.
but I feel that over time, as kind of we've moved towards a more secular society, going away from like old religious traditions, people still want to find that sense of community, and they
Yeah.
want to still do it around stuff that they relate to and that's meaningful to them. And I mean, different characters you relate with. I mean, not saying most religions are fiction, but
Well, there's
characters are characters
a lot of
once you
crazy
relate
shit
with.
that happens in the Bible, you know.
Yeah, yeah. We're just gonna skip over the majority of the Old Testament there. But I mean, I don't know, like similar to characters, right? These people have investments of emotion in them. They watch
Yeah.
their stories, they watch their development, and they kind of project themselves onto it. And I don't know, I find it interesting, how that little thing of projecting yourself onto a character can help you communicate and relate better with other people.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it is that whole finding something that you can relate to, finding something that you love, and the realization that other people love it too gives. If you're maybe not socially outgoing as another person, just knowing that there's someone else that likes something you like or finds, gives you credence as a person. I think
Yeah.
gives you a little bit more confidence, like, because I stopped using the term guilty pleasure a long time ago, because I like, doesn't mean it's guilty. If I like it, I like it. I don't give a shit if anyone doesn't like
Yeah.
it or not. I don't feel guilty about it at all. Um, but I think a lot of people for a long time would read comic books kind of in the shadows and think that made them, people look down upon it, and they felt weird about it. But then, sort of has come out where, like, a lot of people read these and a lot of people love them and a lot of people identify with them, and they're like, oh, this is great, and it makes them feel a lot better. So, and it obviously is huge. um, I think it's a wonderful industry. It's a wonderful way to bring people together, over something that they feel strongly about. It's amazing to see how many. I think the comic book that I love the most of all time, forever, and will always love, is The Tick. And
Yeah.
about 3 Comic Cons back, I was just standing outside of Hall H, and still, or Edlin was there, standing there with his family, or so. I think it was his family. I don't know. And I was just like staring at him, like, oh my god, it's fucking Ben Edlin right there. And I'd seen him before, but he's 2 feet away from me, and and I'm the shyest motherfucker on the planet. But I reached deep down inside, and after the 2 people that were with him left and he was by himself, I walked up and said, "Can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah." It was so nice and grateful and gracious, and got a picture with him, and that was the highlight of my year. Um, but it's just so funny that this one person who created this thing could stir something inside me, and push me outside of myself to do something I would never do, like to talk to somebody I don't know, which is like, I can't even, I have trouble checking out at a grocery store. If the clerk says anything to me, I just start sweating. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to say. Um, so I think comic books, fiction, it stirs something inside people and it draws them out of themselves. I think it's a beautiful thing. So, sermon's over.